Welcome to the Indie Beacon Show, where readers can discover great new indie authors. Find us on all major podcast systems, Amazon TV, and YouTube. Join the Alan Bourgeois for today's show.
Okay.
Hi, and welcome to a special edition of the Indie Beacon Show. This is your host, B. Alan Bourgeois, and we are glad to have Denise Bryson with us, who has been a hostess for our show for a couple of years, and now she's back for the 2020 season, and we're thrilled to have her back. So welcome back, Denise. We're glad you're here.
Thank you, Alan. I'm glad to be here. This is such a joy for me to be able to be a host on the Indie Beacon Show. It's been such a great experience for me and all the awesome people that I have met along the way. So it has been really a great experience, and I look forward to it every time I get the opportunity to interview somebody else about their written masterpieces. So that's just a joy for me.
Yes, it is quite interesting to learn about the different stories that are out there and stuff. And of course, you've got your own story. So why don't we do a quick recap of who you are and what you've written and stuff of that nature?
Well, I am Denise Bryson, and because I always tell people I am an accountant and an auditor by trade, but I like to write. I've been writing since I was a young girl. I actually started writing poetry when I was in high school, actually, and one of my poems got published in the high school in our senior book, and so that's when I figured out that, oh, I can write poetry. And of course, my teachers, as I went to college, they told me, I wasn't the best grammatical writer, but they said I had one old imagination. So they told me I would make a good short story writer. That's what I was told over and over. So I've written several books. I've written not several, but I have a poetry book, and it was actually called The Things That Cross My Mind. So here it is. It's called The Things That Cross My Mind. And then I did an audio version of it. And of course, I changed the name in the audio version as I went through the poems and I started really reading them. Then I thought that the book should have maybe been called Love's Reality. And so I did it in this, I changed it, but it says it's based upon the big things that cross my mind, but I called it Love's Reality because it talks about 4 facets of a love relationship. And then I got the idea when I started substitute teaching after I had been laid off, and I started substitute teaching. So I learned some things about the young people because I didn't know. And so anyway, so I wrote the book. I got a children's book out, and it's called Meet the Coins. And then it's a 7-book series. So the second one is on its way out. It should be out in November, but it is called Meet the Bills. And then we're going to start going through the journey of money management and Money Matters for Children. And of course, Blinky is the star of the show.
And Blinky's the ATM.
Blinky's an ATM machine. Yeah, of course. So of course, he cannot accept coins because he doesn't, we know ATM machines can't do that. But the story that he is telling or he's conveying is that my friends don't have to be like me to be my friends. They can be different from me, but we can still be friends. And so that's the message I wanted to send out to the kids that, even though this person over here may not be like you, that still don't mean you can't be their friend. And so I hope that's the message that will be conveyed. Yes.
And then I'm working books too, don't you?
Huh?
You have some other books too, correct?
Yes, I have one that I'm hoping to have to get it formatted by the end of this week, and it's called The Sex, the Lies, and the Soul Ties. And so it's written in a poetic format, but I do believe they're really little short stories. And so I probably will build off of that book and make it into a short story series. That's my plan anyway. And so that's coming out, and hopefully I'll have it out by the end of the month. But anyway, I'm sending it to be formatted, and then we can upload it hopefully by the end of the month. So that's what I'm doing. And then I got some other ideas, of course, that I got written down and got chapters written. So they just got to be developed.
There's one I think we missed, Say Ye.
Oh, yeah, Say Ye. I forgot about that. Yeah, Say Ye is my book. It's a book of quotes, and it's really based upon my T-shirt line. I have a T-shirt line, T-shirts that I do, and it's based upon that. And so it is, I thought, well, I'm doing these T-shirts, and the trademark, each T-shirt is like $200 for each T-shirt. And I was like, oh no, I don't have that. So I developed this little book of quotes that are based upon the T-shirts, and so it's called Say Ye. And so that will be coming out too as well this year. So I got a busy schedule.
You do, and with all the craziness of COVID, you've actually stayed busy, and that's good.
Yes, and I'm glad of that. I'm glad I just didn't sit here and get discouraged, but I kept being encouraged and kept moving and kept moving. So that's the important thing about being in this situation with COVID. You got to keep moving regardless.
Exactly. And now you're set for a successful 2021. So that's great.
Yes, I'm excited about it too.
So with the success in mind, as a hostess, what is it you hope you can bring to the show that, is different or is unique to you?
Well, I think one of the things I hope that I bring to the show is to pull out of the authors, the things that they want people to know about their book, and that the message that they want people to understand about what they've written. And so that's what I hope in my interviewing, that's what happens, that kind of comes to life, as well as the characters that they've already brought to life. So I hope that, yes. And I want to say this. I always like to say this. I always like to thank you, because I think you're the hardest working man in the world of authors and reading and books and all that pertains to it. You have built such a good support system for all of us authors, and it's just amazing. I'm so thankful for that, and I'm so glad I got to meet you. I think it was at a book fair, and I walked around the corner and there you were, and that's how it all started. So I'm so glad I got the opportunity to meet you.
Well, we're thrilled to have you as part of the family, so thank you very much. So getting the, I'm tongue-tied here. That's actually what I wanted to discuss, was authors who are afraid to talk on here. All of you, you, Rox, and everybody else, helps the authors feel more at ease. Why do you think that's so important with the show, for them to be at ease doing it?
Well, I think because sometimes people, sometimes people that are authors or writers, they're kind of reclusive sometimes, or they introverts. And so to get them to talk is a challenge anyway, because they're mostly introverted. And so when you kind of get them to, when you can make them feel comfortable enough to talk, then they let out a little extrovert that they didn't know they had.
Yes, and that is part of the show, is getting people to, readers specifically, to learn about the authors themselves, and of course then learn about their books and stuff. But having that human connection is what I hope we accomplish every time.
Yeah.
Any words of advice for an author?
Well, my words of advice is to keep on working, no matter what your challenges are, what you think your challenges are, what you think your weaknesses are. There are people to handle the weaknesses. So go ahead and write what you're going to write, and bring out those characters and let it shine through, because you can always get an editor. Don't worry about that. And then you can always get somebody, to help you with doing the formatting and all the other little nuances that go with writing. So just keep forward and go ahead and write it down and get it done. You can do it.
All right. Well, I thank you very much for your time, and we look forward to an exciting year of 2021.
Thank you, Alan. I enjoyed this. This is really a good experience for me. So thanks so much for the opportunity.
Thank you for watching the Indie Beacon Show, produced by B. Allen Bourgeois for the Authors Marketing Guild, LLC, copyright 2021. Voiceover by Randy James and B. Allen Bourgeois. If you would like to be a sponsor of this show, please reach out to us at info@authorsmarketingguild.com. If you'd like to be on the show, please complete the form at radio.authorsmarketingguild.com. Music is Always Rejoice by Rampart of Ukraine.